Good evening, everyone. I decided to do a live while I make my meatballs. Bruce just got home and he is hungry. He was traveling and I literally, while he was gone, I think I ate an apple and a peach and a quesadilla and just had like every meal was a girl dinner. We're sending our love and watching all this coverage from Florida. We are sending our hearts out to all of you and praying that this storm isn't as bad as we heard. It's just horrific after what that region has already been through with the last hurricane. So for me, when I'm stressed, meatballs are soothing. So we're gonna make some meatballs tonight. I have an onion here that I am chopping. Hey Janice, hey Carol. Thanks for joining my little surprise live. When I make meatballs and also the tomato sauce to go with this, I like a really finely chopped onion because I don't like big chunks of onion in my meatball. So I have half an onion in the tomato sauce and I have half an onion in the meatball. I'm going to show you guys how I cook my onion. Look at me. I have a little holder. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I mean, Bruce is here too, but I told him he didn't have to hold. Okay, you can see. So the first thing I do when I'm chopping an onion, you have to have a really good knife. And if you want a small dice, you're going to try to get these layers parallel to your cutting board, about even width. Okay, so that's the first way. Then you go down from the top, straight down. And again, if you want a fine chop, you're going to do them close together. And this just takes a lot of practice. I don't have the world's greatest knife skills, but I do have a good knife and I at least know what I'm supposed to do. And I could practice the rest of my life to be one of those chefs who just does this in 2 seconds without looking and doesn't cut his or her knuckles off. Then you go this way and you chop this way. And that's how you get a nice fine dice. You're supposed to use your knuckles like this. Okay. And then I give the whole thing a little chop. Half for my sauce, half for the meatballs. Everyone has a different meatball recipe. We all make it a little differently. All of our moms made it a little differently. All of our grandmothers made it a little differently. So I'm going to show you how I make mine, derivative of how my mom made hers. Okay, so we're going to get the sweet tomato sauce on first. Hi, Bruce. Nance says.
Hi.
Okay. We are going to move over to my stove. What brand is the knife? The knife is Willing. It's a really good knife. Okay, so let's put this over here. I'm going to start with my sauce right here. Okay. Get the pan on medium high. I'm going to use some extra virgin olive oil. Just going to let that heat up a little first. Okay, feels like it's got a little heat now. Put about a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, and then I'm going to add the onion. And for the tomato sauce, I don't want the onion to get brown. I just want it to get translucent. It's just going to take a couple of minutes. I'm just sweating the onion a bit. Kathy fries her meatballs. I fry my meatballs too. And then I finish them in the sauce. Some people bake the meatballs, some people fry. I know, Charmel, some people do just cook the meatballs totally in the sauce. I like a little bit of a sear on them, but I do like a soft meatball, so I put a little bread and a little milk in the meatball. So, like I say, everyone's a little different. One thing that's really important with your meatballs is that you have enough fat in your meat. So yes, you can use turkey, but they're not going to taste as good. But if you really like not eating beef, you could certainly use turkey. But I would say use the thigh meat on the turkey, because turkey breast just is so dry. And you know, you get the sauce and you cover it, and if you put cheese on it, that's going to be even better. But I will be using a traditional combination of pork and beef, not just any pork and beef. I will be using my Wagyu beef and my Iberico pork from Herd and Grace, and I'll post the link so you guys know where to get that great meat. It's a really nice combo ground meat package that they have that's a combo of both. So I'm going to use 2 pounds of that in my meatballs. You can use 1 pound of the pork and beef and 1 pound of Italian sausage, but I'm going all Herd and Grace today. Okay, this is starting to get translucent. I'm gonna go get my garlic, because the garlic you just want to cook for about a minute. And you don't want it to get too brown or else it gets bitter. Okay, so this is starting to get translucent. I'm gonna turn it down to medium. I have about 8 cloves of garlic here, and I'm going to use half for the meatballs and half for the sauce. Okay, in with the garlic. I'll just let that cook for 1 to 2 minutes. This is a really simple tomato sauce. I'm ready over here with my crushed tomatoes. I had a little surprise happen with my crushed tomatoes. I didn't realize that accidentally we bought fire roasted crushed tomatoes, so they have little char flecks in it. It'll be fine. Maybe I'll like it even better. So instead of this just being my sweet tomato sauce, it's going to be my fire roasted tomato sauce, because sometimes you just have to improvise. Okay, here we go. I'm hoping it's taking your mind off the devastation in Florida, and if you are, if you're able to watch storm coverage to keep yourself safe, I hope you were able to do that. I know like over 1 million people have lost power now. Okay, here comes my unexpected black flecked tomato sauce. I'm so irritated by this, but I'm gonna let it go. Here we go. By the time it gets coated with meatballs and covered in mozzarella, you're not even going to notice. Okay. There's my sauce. I'm going to let this simmer for, just going to bring it up to heat, and then I'm going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes. It's probably how long it's going to take me to cook those meatballs. Okay, it's already boiling. Put this down to low, and then I'm going to season it. We need our good salt. We need plenty of salt. That's quite a bit of tomato sauce there. And then we need the ground pepper. And I have fresh basil, but I'm going to add that at the very end. So let this, just let those flavors meld. You can use any kind of tomato that you have. If you've got the San Marzano tomatoes, those are great. Whole tomatoes work. Peeled tomato, the whole peeled tomatoes, and you just mash them up a little. You can use tomato sauce. You can use crushed tomatoes, tomato puree. And I guess today you can use fire roasted tomatoes, because that is what happened. Okay, this I'm going to move to this back burner here and let that simmer. And we will get ready over here for meatballs. But first, let's go make our meatballs now. Okay. I'm glad you love my cooking videos. JM in CLE. The recipe for the tomato sauce is in my book, but not the meatballs yet. I'm starting to think about the next book. It takes it's a lot of development to put together a book, but these are recipes that I'm working on because I'm trying to do a recipe for every one of my meat products in my Herd and Grace box for October. Which you can find at carolinehg.com. Okay, let's make the meatballs. Cheers, Bruce. Let me catch up with your comments here. Here is a bowl for my meatballs. I like to start with some bread. This is just some stale bread that I cubed. And can you use just meat in a meatball? Yes, of course you can. And it's delicious like that. It is, it's meaty, it's more dense. And in my opinion, a proper Italian meatball is soft. And what makes it soft is the addition of bread or breadcrumbs. A lot of people used seasoned breadcrumbs. I just like to do the actual bread, but I soak it in a little bit of milk. So this is whole milk. I have about 1.5 cups of bread in here, and I'm gonna use about 1/3 cup of milk, and I'm just gonna let that soak in there. So that's number one. Then I'm going to add this onion. So this is the other half of the onion. And it's all going in one bowl. And it is very forgiving. I mean, you can measure with your heart. I'm trying to give you measurements so that you can have a recipe, and I will post it for you. Okay. I'm going to save this bread because this is what we're going to use to toast and make the thing to hold the meatball and the cheese. So that's what's happening there. So there's my bread. I'm going to add the meat now. This is Violet's trying to call me. Sorry, can you text Violet and tell her I'm doing a live right now? This is the Iberico pork and the Wagyu beef combo ground. There's no antibiotics ever with this meat. You're going to get the best quality, best tasting meat. Campo Grande is the brand that they sell at Herd and Grace. It is from Iberico, Spain, and they have this heritage quality meat that is unbelievably good. I have about a quarter cup of parsley, which I'm going to add here. I have about a cup of Parmesan cheese. It's freshly grated Parmesan Reggiano. I'm going to add a little bit of fennel. Like I said, you could certainly use half pork and beef and half Italian sausage. But I do love that taste of fennel like you get in sausage. So I'm adding a little bit of that, a little bit of oregano. Maybe a tablespoon of oregano, 2 teaspoons, a couple teaspoons of fennel. And I'm going to add 2 eggs. The eggs are what bind everything together. Easy, easy. A good amount of salt and pepper. Always. Pepper grinder. You guys, I ordered a few more of my, they're combination of beef and pork. So it's half beef, half pork. You know, meatball mixture is traditionally beef, pork, and veal. A lot of people don't like to cook with veal, but you can use all 3. You can use any one of the 3. And then, of course, I have the rest of my garlic. And the last ingredient that my mother always used in her meatballs was Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Here we go. Same recipe my mom and grandma used to make. Just a couple dashes of Worcestershire. I can't tell you how much this reminds me of my mom. This smell, and then the classic going in with your hands for the meatball mix. I'm just going to clear my place here. Do you have a good angle? Can you see? Here we go. And we're going in. I also, I took the meat out of the fridge, so I let it sit out for a bit. Best way to make sure everything gets really well incorporated. And again, if you are not using this amazing meat from Herd and Grace, don't get the leanest beef. Get one that has a little more fat in it, because that is where you get the flavor for your meatballs. This Iberico pork and the Wagyu beef combo, it is really marbled, and that is why you get this spectacular tasting meatball. Okay, that is ready. Now we are going to start making the meatballs. Now, I like to make my meatballs I like my meatballs. I like them big and soft. I like big, soft meatballs. That's me. You might like them small and hard. You do you. But the big and soft, you need a good amount of fat in your meatball. That comes from the good meat that I'm using. You also, that's where I add the bread and a little bit of milk. So these are maybe 2.5, 3 inches. Okay. Put these over here in my little tray. You can use an ice cream scoop. There, about that size. It reminds me of a joke my dad used to tell. What was the joke? Joe DiMaggio gets up to bat.
Oh, he used to say that it was with his mother who didn't speak a lot of
my
English.
dad used to say, my mother, he did a great impression of his mother, my grandmother, who was from Bisaccia, which is in southern Italy. It's in the region of Avellino, inland from Naples. And her English, she always spoke broken English, but she learned to get by. But he would say, tell me the joke, Bruce. Just let me do the punchline.
When Joe DiMaggio was up to bat, he got a walk.
Oh, she would say.
Why is he walking?
he says, why is he walking? Tony, why is he walking? And my dad said, wait, because he got 4 balls. And she says, walk a proud, Joe. 4 big, soft meatballs. All right, we're gonna move over to, oh, Bruce, will you put the oven on broil for me? So I wanna get ready for when I wanna melt the cheese. So this is 2 pounds of meat, about 2 pounds of meat. I will write this recipe down for you, it's pretty easy. Half an onion, 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, 2 pounds of the Wagyu beef / Iberico pork, or your best substitution for that. 1/4 cup of parsley, maybe 1.5 cups of bread, 1/4 cup to 1/3 of a cup of milk, a little bit of fennel, a little bit of oregano, dash of Worcestershire, salt, pepper. Okay. It's gonna make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It made 10 meatballs of this size. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands and I'll be right back with you. Okay. Going back over to the stove. I guess I have a name for this recipe now. It's called Big Soft Meatballs. So, does that broiler not work, honey?
I didn't know if you want a convection broiler.
Oh, I see. You have it on broil. Okay. All right, here we go. Here are my meatballs. I'm going to heat up my pan. And there you go. Always get your pan hot first. Hot pan and then the cold oil. And that is how your food doesn't stick. Hot pan, cold oil. Checking in on my sauce over here. One egg for every pound. Kathy, we're in sync. Which question was it? Oh, 2 eggs. Sorry, I missed the eggs. Yes. 1 egg for every pound. You can also use pecorino instead of Parmesan. Almost. I'm not rushing it. So now the question is to bake or fry the big soft meatball. I like to pan fry it. This is a late dinner. I do like a pan-fried meatball. Some people would just take everything, put it on a tray, and pop it in the oven, and then put it in the sauce. I sear it in the olive oil, and then I transfer it to the sauce, and I let it finish in the sauce. Hi, Carol. How much milk? About a quarter cup, quarter to a third of a cup. You just want to soak the bread a bit. Would you share your cookware? This is all clad. I got this for my wedding 33 years ago. I have never had to replace it. It'll last a lifetime. I always admire that tea kettle on the stove. There's no story. Again, it was something we got for our wedding. Where will we find this recipe? Froggy, I will post a link to it when I post the recap of this. Well, I have to post the recipe first, but usually on my website, which is carolinesummers.com. Okay, here we go. Back to the pan. All right, let's get a nice little coating of olive oil in the bottom. The heat is on about medium high. And here we go. I'm going to give them a little bit of space. We don't want to crowd the balls. Now, of course, when your meatballs are done, you can serve these with pasta, and you can have spaghetti and meatballs. You can serve them inside of a roll and make a meatball sandwich. I like to serve them, I just cook them in a cast iron, and then I serve them just with some crusty bread. And that is going to be dinner for us. I know. Nancy, is there a better night for Bruce to be telling his dad jokes? I know. What is the ratio of fat on the beef? I think I saw my friends from Herd and Grace on. Do you guys know what the ratio of fat is on this? I don't have that fact.
Wait, was I allowed to do dad jokes during this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I started it with the...
Just because you were soaking your meatballs.
I was
earlier.
Okay, while those are cooking, I'm going to slice. This is fresh mozzarella. So this is the one that comes in water. And I'm just going to slice this into little thin strips because I'm going to use this on top of the meatballs. After we put them in the sauce, they're going to finish in the oven with a little Parmesan and a little of this mozzarella. So delicious. You can use the buffalo mozzarella or the cow, either one. But again, we're not looking for low fat here. We're looking for ooey gooey, creamy fat. Okay, that's all ready. Oh, is Buddy coming to say hi? Okay, I'm going back over to my balls. I need to tend to the balls now. We have So that was like 2 or 3 minutes on the first side. They're delicate, so you need to be careful when you turn them. You can see that we're rendering out a lot of that delicious marbling in the meat. This meat has a lot more fat than most, so normally I would say make sure you use the fat in the sauce because that's what gives you the flavor. And this one, I will say that, but I might not use all of it just because it really is deliciously good. So I add it a bit at a time and then I taste. But that is where, you know, the Iberico pork it's grass fed and it feeds on nuts and grass. So it is a beautiful, clean pork. And then of course we have the Wagyu beef, which is grass fed and barley finished. It's delicious. Your bedtime. I know, it's a little late, but it's time to cook. So you can do these in little individual cast irons, or I think I'm going to do it in, let's see, Bruce, how many of these delicious balls are you going to want? Bruce? You can't hear me. He put his headphones in. I didn't add any oil. Nancy, the grass-fed meat, it really depends how it's raised. Some of them are grass-fed and barley finished, and they have great marbling. So grass-fed is always going to be a little different taste, but these are raised in such a clean environment, and they are delicious. It really depends on what they feed the cattle, how they live their lives, what kind of environment they're in, and the Wagyu is crazy good. Thank you, Dory. It is incredibly good. Okay, so these have been in here for maybe 6 minutes total. And once I feel confident that they're going to hold together, I'm going to move them over to the sauce. Not quite. They just need a couple more minutes. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use to cook them and then melt the cheese in the oven. So I'm going to get that ready. I've got my oven on. So, you guys want to see Bunny? Bunny. There's our girl. She's doing better. Aww. So it's not going to be garlic bread, it's just going to be this crusty sourdough bread that I'm going to toast, and then I'm going to serve it with the sauce. Hey, Bruce. They want to know about the wine.
What?
They want to know about the wine.
It's Amarone.
Amarone.
Usually
Oh, it's delicious. She's not spending the night. Kanaya's coming to get her.
It's usually more of a...
Look at that little angel.
Sweet.
Are you even real? Look at you, you sweet girl. Okay, there are two things that I need to do. This is the wine. Amarone della Valpolicella. Is this from that wine club?
No. This is from the last bottle.
It's delicious.
Isn't it?
It's so sweet. Okay. The other thing that I need to do is I need to chiffonade my basil because this is going to be the last thing that goes into the tomato sauce. Okay, but first, these are done. Okay, I'm gonna move the meatballs into the sauce. Can you see this incredible amount of marbling? That is the flavor that you're going to get from these incredible. Oh. It wouldn't be alive.
You have that on high?
It is now. Okay, now I am going to add some of that fat, but not all of it. Okay, there are the meatballs covered in sauce. And now I just like to spoon a little of this sauce over the top. And they're going to finish cooking in the sauce. I've got that back on low. Take a little kitchen spoon here. Just going to add a little drizzle of some of that flavor back into the meatballs. Okay, let's cut the basil. No, I didn't put the cheese into the sauce. I put the cheese right on top of the sauce. Hey Bruce, my battery is low. Can you get me a thing to plug in here? Who does the dishes at your house? My darling husband. I can move over here. I gotta plug in, guys. Okay. Yeah, Bruce is great with dishes. So with the basil, oh, Bunny, did that make you nervous when the alarm went off? I'm gonna take about 10 basil leaves. Stack them like this. Oh, it smells so good. So here's what I was saying. I am going to order one more set of books that I'm going to have sent to me, and I just ordered these aprons, and I am going to be offering for holiday the opportunity to get an autographed cookbook that I will mail to you, and you'll have an opportunity to get it with the apron. So with or without the apron, but we will be selling the autographed book of Served. This. That was me finding out how much shipping costs. Shipping is so expensive, it's crazy. So anyway, it'll be the book option with the apron. It will be signed and personalized to you, or if you want to send it as a gift. And then I'm going to take these basil leaves. I'm just going to roll them up like this. And why do you stack the basil? I'll show you, because when you want a chiffonade, which just means it's very thinly sliced, you roll it like this, and then you take your knife. Hold on, I have cheese on my knife. Then you take the knife and you just slice it very thinly, and it makes for what we call a chiffonade. You can't buy it in Canada or on Amazon, but you can buy it from me and I will ship it to you. Okay. This is the last thing that is going into, I'll be selling the apron separately if you already have a book. This is the last thing that I'll be adding here. There we go. Now we're going to start loading it into this pan. I'm not going to put this entire thing in because Bruce and I aren't eating all of those meatballs. I think 2 meatballs is going to be plenty for each of us. Get plenty of sauce. Now I'm going to just add the cheese. But first I'm going to add a little more Parmesan. Top it with mozzarella. Now this goes into the oven. Change that back. Whenever you have something in the broiler, I always like to keep the door either open, or I just like to keep eyes on it, because if you get slightly distracted, you can ruin the whole thing. So, there she is. I would love to be your friend and live close to you. I would be your leftover queen. Yeah, this is going to be very good eating tomorrow. These cast iron dishes have a plastic handle, like a silicone handle on the end of it. Okay, don't let me. No, it's meant to go in the oven. It is a cool handle that can go in the oven. It's gonna be like 2 minutes. Bruce, we're gonna be ready to eat.
Okay.
Can you set the counter, honey?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Look at this, guys. Can you see? I don't want my phone to stop working. The oven is gas. Yeah, it is fast. That's the whole meal. And you guys watch me from start to finish. Okay. Hang on now, because I have to plug my phone in, but I don't want to miss this here. Oh yeah. There she goes. Oh, it's getting brown and golden and bubbly. Almost. It's melting my eyelashes. It was a surprise. I thought maybe I'd do a video, but it's so much harder to do a video and cut it all together. Yes, I will save and post this live. Sorry, Kathy, I know it's late. Woo! Oh, this is serious. The sauce is bubbling like crazy. Just letting that cheese get a little more golden. Oh, it looks so good. Oh, I gotta make the bread. Bruce, can you slice that bread for me? Make 4 like slices and just pop it in the toaster. Here it comes. Can you see? It's starting to bubble on the top. It's almost there. I just have to close it. I just have to close it for a second because I just want that golden. Cam, you hungry? I know. I wish I could feed you. Cutie, you have a bad connection. I'm so sorry. Are you near hurricane land? If you guys are having a problem with, having foods that might be coming back on you, you might try betaine HCl. Okay. Here we go. Look at that. Okay. That looks amazing. Here we go. I'm going to serve us. 2 secs. I hear the toaster. Guess what didn't happen with the salad? Okay, Bruce, you ready to eat, honey? Ready, sir. Okay. Can you take this? Here we go. Time for the bite. There you go. I'm going to switch it. There you go. And I always put you always put something on the handle because I've burned myself way too many times.
So getting back to, how long do you have to soak the meatballs?
You just have to be very gentle. They require tender, loving care.
Yeah, just kind of caress them into the bowl.
Wow. Just in case you wanted to see a cheese pull tonight.
Cheese.
Wow, I might need an assist on the cheese pull. There we go. And for you, honey. Ridiculously good.
Lots of hearts, lots of wows.
Let's have a taste. This recipe is always good, but it is something special when you use the Herd and Grace meats. This, the Wagyu and Iberico pork combo, does come in my October box. So I always try to give you guys some inspiration of what to cook. So here we go. We have some.
Sandy was reminding us to turn the stovetop off.
Yeah, it's still, I just have those, I have those other meatballs in there still simmering. I want this to, I want you guys to get a bite, a taste. So I would also have put oil on these, but here we go. So I want you to have a little.
Never hurts to let your balls simmer a little bit.
And like them a little extra.
Somebody just said, I'm a Pelicano through marriage. Damn.
It's delicious. It is. That is delicious. Do you want me to get you on camera taking a bite?
I'm in
He
gym
just
clothes.
He just came off a plane.
Yeah, from Tennessee.
Went straight to the gym, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to do a live."
Yeah, so that's
but
why.
he can't be mad because I make him meet the balls.
I'm not mad.
I know he's not mad. Cheers, you guys! Thanks for joining me. I'll post the recipe. Good night, everyone. Stay safe, Florida.